What's up, everybody? It's Brandon from Box Office Banner Cult Flick Symposium. I am back with another movie review. Could you have guessed it? Probably could, since that's about all I do on this channel, other than the occasional once in a blue moon Monday Mayhem, and you will see people with me if I'm doing that. But this one is on Cobweb. Shit! Heard little murmurs about this movie, but I don't think you'll hear much murmurs about it unless you're a big horror fan. Being a big horror fan, being entrenched in that community, if you will, I was just, hearing, like I said, murmurs, like little things here and there, like this movie's actually pretty good. And I was like, I'm actually going to check it out. And then I actually didn't have a place to check it out because my theater wasn't showing it. And I was like, what the fuck is this? So there it was. There was the waiting game. Waiting for it to come out on Blu-ray. It did, and hoo-hoo-hoo. Random Al impression. No, hoo-hoo-hoo. Damn, this movie. What the fuck? Did I like it? I fucking loved it, and I wasn't expecting that. I was, kind of expecting it to be, like, good, but also good in that way to where it's like, damn, unexpected, a little under the radar horror movie, be like, hey, it's not amazing, but check out Cobweb. Didn't just do that. This movie, holy shit, dude. This is a perfect type of movie for me. I'll say that much. It's hard because you don't want to give away too much. There's elements of real grounded in reality stuff, which I love, but there's also elements of where it's like a little over the top, which I love. And I think a lot of people, like the naysayers for this movie, because I did look into like a few like of the critics and shit like that, I think you don't get a lot of people that can have a happy medium with those type of things. A good example of this would be Malignant. If you watch Malignant, it was kind of like a grounded, James Wan type of, oh my God, spooky, like, yeah, like it's not grounded, like is there actual ghosts? Who the fuck knows? But it's like, that type of like Conjuring movie. It's scary, it's slow burn. And then out of nowhere, it turns into craziness where you're like, what the fuck? This movie has a little bit of that. And I think that rubs people the wrong way because they're just like, oh, man, this is a good slow burn show. And they're like, and what is this? This is nonsense. This is nonsense. Every once in a while, you get the guy like me where he sees a movie like this and you eat up both things. Like, I love a good slow burn. Like, oh, this might be a little nonsensical, but this is fucking crazy, and I love this type of shit, too. And this is made for people like me and you. So if you're a big fan of that, strap in. This movie starts out as one thing, as you can kind of guess, and you're just like, okay, I've seen this done a million times before. I'm not as into this. And then it turns into something else. You're like, oh, nice. On the little slow burn ride. And then it goes to a third act where it gets a little fucking crazy, and I didn't check it out. I was like, oh my God, we're going this route now. Let's fucking go. What? That type of reaction is what came out of me. Hopefully you can get the same. Because this is a movie I put on. I'll be honest with you, people, I was like, I'm just going to watch like 30 minutes of it. I've got to get to this damn movie. I need to review it. I need to get to sleep. I'll just watch a little bit of it. So I watched a little bit of it, and the first twist happened. And I was like, okay, I got to see where this is going. And you're like, but then I'm going to shut it off for the third act because I have got to get to bed. And then that twist happens, and you're just like, holy fuck. I'm watching the whole movie because I have got to see where this goes. Yeah, that's the type of movie this is on. And for some reason, this movie was pitched to me as like an anthology. That was my vibe going in. I don't even know if it was pitched or maybe I got that vibe from, hearing about it from the couple people I did without looking too deeply into it because I also wanted to be surprised. And I was waiting for it to move to the next story, and it never happened. But in some odd way, it kind of did that. Its own form of anthology with being the same story but with the different directions it took where it's swaying you emotionally in a great horror sense. Everybody acted in this movie very well done. Had a good time with everybody. What's her name? Lizzie Kaplan, I believe. I mainly think of her from, like the Seth Rogen fame, James Franco. Like, she was in The Night Before at the end as, what the fuck? Joseph, what the hell? Joseph Gordon-Levitt's girl that he's like proposing to her with Miley Cyrus singing "Wrecking Ball." I think of her in that movie. I think of her, of course, in like The Interview, things like that. That's just what she always pops into my head as. Not that I haven't seen her in other things, but like she did good as in the serious role as the mother, and the different type of variations and things that she has to take on in the movie. Won't say much more than that. Very cool. And the dad, Anthony Starr, I believe is his name. Just watched him this year in The Covenant. Solid role in that. This dude's always solid in movies. And these two at the forefront, it was cool and a little bit of a lower budget TID type flick to my knowledge that, they didn't get superstars, but they got people that, are quality and are people that are quality when they can be, pushed to the forefront of a movie and be your leads, that they can take on that role that other superstars could do. So the perfect type of casting for this type of movie. Again, the twists and turns, bro. Just, you're either going to be on board with them or you're not. But if you are on board with them, you're going to go, like, it's a horrible noise, but like is that better? God, whatever noise I'm trying to do, insert it for me here, where you're just twisting and turning all the way to the end, like you're on a fucking racetrack and you're gonna come out the other end, like, God, that was difficult. Or you're gonna come out the other end like, God, that was fucking awesome. And I was that. Very, very well done. I've heard some things about plot holes in this movie. I don't necessarily see them. Yeah, maybe there's like one or two if you dig deep, but like a lot of because I was looking at the reviews after the movies, because it was one of those where you're just like, what the fuck, what do other people think about this? Because holy shit, this was dope. And the main people I saw bitching were the people, it seemed like, again, they couldn't get on the layers of vibes, like their movie was this vibe and they're pissed they switch it up on them. It was that type of thing. Or they were like, plot holes, man, plot holes. But some of the people that I saw claiming plot holes, because there's a little story within the movie that they feel like just doesn't tie together once the final twist is revealed. It's kind of like, yeah, I mean, it doesn't lay it out there like, do you get it now, buddy? But you can piece these things together. It's one of those movies where it doesn't tell you every little detail, but I don't like movies like that anyways, Like, I don't want to come to a dead end and you're like, well, where the fuck could that go? And it's like, just come up with it. I don't want that. That's like a plot hole to me. For me, this movie is, you just got to shift what they were telling you before, and then as the chaos is going on, and then it makes you think about it, because you're like, damn, what just happened? And you do like critical thinking on a movie that probably doesn't need critical thinking, but you do that. At least I do, because I review these films. And I'm just like, okay, but how would that work if that... Oh, because, this is actually what... And then I bet that's what happened. You got to do that for yourself. It's one that leaves you thinking after the movie, and you can piece these things together. I don't need everything done with a nice bow on top. If they would have finished the movie as is, and they would have done like, okay, let's stay on course, and now here's all the explanations for this, and see you later, it would have been another like, okay, yeah, horror movie. Instead, they flipped it on its fucking head, and it was like, where'd that come from? And for me, it made it memorable. And then instead of getting those direct answers afterwards, I could be like, oh, and my version of this, at least, or kind of what I think you could just do critical thinking and just piece it together on, was just like, this could be this now, could it? And then you think about it more, you're like, definitely, that's probably exactly what it is. And you can kind of piece those together on your own. So I don't really get as much of the plot hole situation as a bunch of people are talking about. Not that it's perfect, but if it would have been neat and tidy at the end, I would have fucking disliked it more. So Cobweb, I know I haven't given you exacts and shit. I don't want to tell you too much, because this is a little under the radar flick that I think you need to go in blind. But I'm trying to, sell you on just like the oomph of it without giving you the whole fucking thing. Go see this fucking movie. Decide for yourself and understand going into it. It's kind of I don't even want to tell you what I've told you, honestly. So hopefully you haven't watched this review, because I think it makes it more of a surprise if you don't know the little details. But I got to have a review here. You know what I'm saying, people? But if that sounds like kind of your bag, dude, check this fucking movie out. And if you have seen it and you think I'm crazy, tell me why. Like, share, subscribe. Love you guys. Go see Cobweb. Rent it. Buy it. Whatever the fuck you got to do. Peace.